with something people think is cool, but you just don't find impressive at all. Making fun of my interests. I can make fun of stuff though. Inflated social media follower counts as a measure of popularity or influence. Blasting your fart muffler shitbox exhaust as you drive down busy streets. Putting other people down so that they look better. Don't know why even grown adults aren't immune to that. Being rude. When people brag about the crazy hours they're working and how stressed out they are. Drinking excessively. Being an influencer or obsessed with increasing social media followers. Smoking. What is the most unprofessional thing a doctor has said to you? Resident doc interviewing me before regular doc came in to insert my IUD. Any chance you are pregnant? Me no, doc, how do you know? Me, I haven't had sex since November. It was July by now. Doc, shocked, why haven't you have sex? Don't you live with your partner? Me, I don't have a partner. Doc, then why do you want an IUD? Me, I'm really hoping the last time wasn't the last time. What is something you will never give a fuck about? Scripted pranks lol. Entitled celebrities and social media influencers. Facebook. Hollywood award shows. Gender reveals. Social media influencers. Celebrity drama. Reality TV and its stars. NFT. My ex begging for the cat's back. She left us 3 to fuck some dude halfway around the world. When she came back, she had the audacity to ask for the cat's back after her 4-year hiatus in the country. So satisfying to tell her to go fuck herself. Spoiled rich people. Designer clothes. Seems like such a waste of money just to have status. Influencers. Would you be opposed to removing one nation under God from the Pledge of Allegiance, and why or why not? One nation under Canada, above Mexico. Robin Williams. It was inserted by Congress in the early 50s as a reaction to the Red Scare. And even though the original pledge has socialistic origins, I'm not a fan of pledging loyalty to a government. Loyalty to governments can be earned and lost. What is the worst reason to break up with someone? You're worried what others will think of you for dating them. Well, a dude once broke up with me because I moved apartments, and it added 5 minutes to his trip of 15 minutes. Girlfriend because she threatened to rat me out and tell everyone that I was a foot watcher while playing thumbs up 7-up foot watcher are those that would peek at the shoes of the players walking by. She did end up snitching, and I just told everyone she was lying about it because she was mad about me breaking up with her. Ever heard was a buddy of mine got dumped because there was a food he really liked that his girlfriend could not stand, and they actually got into a huge fight over it, and she left and never came back. What's the fastest way you've seen someone going broke? Drug addiction. I've known a few people that thought it was a short-term thing they could just move on from. Most of them very quickly ended up with nothing. My dad lost all his life savings into slots machine, marrying an idiot and then investing everything into a business for them. My daughter received $100K from an accident she had when she was 19. She spent every single penny in less than a year. Of course, people leached onto her and she bought relationships. She is addicted to fentanyl now, has cut me out of her life, and is homeless. That's her story. I wish it was different, but it's not. What food have you tried liking but just can't? Black licorice. I've accepted my DNA, just can't stand the stuff. Peeps, the Easter sugared candy. I like to think I can digest anything covered in sugar, but not that. Grape nuts. I hated them as a kid, but as an adult I decided to try them again. Thinking maybe my taste buds had matured by then. Nope. They were still just as awful as I remembered. What is the absolute worst name you can give to a new baby? Osama bin Hitler. My coworker named her baby Strawberry Rain, which would be a great name if she had given birth to a bottle of shampoo. Gregathy. I actually went to school with a guy named Richard Rash. To make it worse, his mother was a teacher there. Poor Dick couldn't catch a break. Exiagy. At this point, Karen. Mulva. Sanjamin. Any normal name with a fucked up spelling, Justin, Mackenzie, etc. Albert Einstein once said the difference between genius and stupidity is that genius has its limits. What are some examples of this that you have experienced? You shouldn't believe every quote you read on the internet. Abraham Lincoln. Aided we become, the more we know how little we actually know. And it's humbling. But ignorant people really have no idea what they don't know, leading them to be confident about their ignorant stances. I worked at an embassy. One day a guy came to me. Compilation explained a scam he did. It had failed and he wanted to know how I could help him as we are countrymen. Called my colleagues at home and set them on his ass too. This post, because it's not attributable to him. What instantly ruins a sandwich? Mealy white-centered flavorless tomatoes. Shitty bread? Jared. Soggy bread. Mushy tomatoes. True story, I was in this little hole in a wall sandwich place. Got my sandwich and a rat fell out of the ceiling and landed on my table. Ruined the whole meal. The burger issue when it's too tall to fit in your mouth. I see that at delis where they see overstuffed as a plus, but it's just a massive mess. Just put it in a bowl at that point. Sand. A crunch where there shouldn't be a crunch. When lettuce and tomato make the bread soggy. Dryness. If the cheese is supposed to be melted and it isn't. What instantly ruins a pizza? The dough not being fully cooked, so it's gooey in parts. When the cheese and tomato sauce are like lava and it all falls off when you grab a slice. It being all gone. Yo. Thermonuclear war. Too much grease. Had a pizza once that would have been amazing. If not for needing a paper towel after every mouthful. Over or underdone crust. I hate trying to bite through a crust that is burnt. Throwing it on a roof. Ricin or fish heads. A hair. Dropping it on the ground. The Noid. Spider-Man doing too many flips while delivering it. Burning the roof of my mouth. Getting kicked in the balls. Banana looks at Sweden. What film made you say, holy shit, there is still an hour left? Australia. I thought it was a pretty decent western. And the scene of the cattle running up the ramp onto the boat was a nice ending note. Then World War II started. Pearl Harbor. I was waiting for the end credits and suddenly realized there was 1.5 hours left of the movie. At the end of the first Hobbit movie, they got to where they could see the Lonely Mountain and my friend turns to me and said, "How long is this movie?" He did not know it was a trilogy. So yeah, only 5-6 hours left at that point. What's definitely getting out of hand? Monthly subscriptions, not just streaming services, software, games, and even vehicle features. It's like the MBS from MBB have their hands in everything now. Jobs asking for 5 years of experience being listed as entry level. Apps every business, website, service, you name it has its own damn app now. 3-factor authorization also means that I have to download several apps on my personal phone just to be able to access sites required by my employer to do my job. Grocery prices. Already out of hand and has been for a while, but keeps getting worse advertisements everywhere. Rent increases and mortgage rates. Every place asking for a tip. You're transferred into the world of the last book you read. How fucked are you? 1993 to 1000 for Jeep Grand Cherokee's repair manual. Just the normal world with a serial killer going for attractive women in the US. I'm neither attractive nor in the US, so I'm fine. Fellowship of the Ring. I'm in a good place. If I'm just a normal hobbit, I'll be okay with that. As long as I bring my towel, I'll be alright. The Road by Cormac McCarthy, very fucked. Puts down World War Z, gently. It was a Warhammer 40,000 book, so I am screwed. Getting Cujo his rabies shots, that's for sure. Red Rising series, guess it depends on what color I end up as, but most likely fucked anyways. What celebrity ruined their face with surgery? Simon Cowell, Madonna, Meg Ryan, Mickey Rourke, Courtney Cox. Michael Jackson is the king of that. You ever notice that all people that get extreme plastic surgery all end up with the same kind of face? Priscilla Presley, if you saw her in person on the street, she would scare the shit out of you. I will admit it's not as bad as it used to be, so she's had some repair work. Faye Dunaway, on the other end of the spectrum. Jane Fonda's about 200 years old and still looks like Jane Fonda. She's had work done, but it's very good work. Lil Kim. You're in a zombie apocalypse and your username is what you have to work with. How screwed are you? I'm screwed. Well, guess I'm being eaten mid-nap. Pretty screwed. Not sure you can fight the undead with innuendo and that's what she said jokes. I will stab them in the head with my umbrella. I think I will be fine. I'm good for a few swings, I guess. I have an army of people named Bob. Looks like I'll have to Alt F4. Well, considering Donnie doesn't handle confrontation too well, I'm probably in trouble. Fuck it. Dude, let's go bowling. I just know I'm dead after 3-4 weeks. Too drunk to care, carry on. I get to be eaten alive over and over again. What would you do if you had an extra $20,000 in your bank account right now? Have a good night's sleep. Leave it there. I know how this story goes. Our central gas heating is stupidly inefficient and expensive to run. We freeze in winter. I would get split systems in each main room or the house. I already had a quote, $13,000 AUD. I live in a townhouse. The fuse box is awkwardly located. I would put the remaining $7,000 on solar panels. Fucking breathe. Cry. I need a miracle. Not get evicted. Pay off credit cards. We do that every month anyway, but no point in waiting for payday. Might plan a week-long vacation. Pay off my car. Invest the rest. What is something your teacher did in school that you're still salty about? My 3rd grade teacher gave me marks down for spelling a lot, which her dumb fuck ass corrected as a lot. I will probably spend the rest of my life still annoyed with her, and I'm 36. I had a teacher accuse me and a classmate of cheating on an exam because we had the same answer. It was a multiple choice test and she was upset we both had it correct. She gave me detention for chewing gum. I didn't even enter the classroom when she did this. She smelled mint from my mouth when I said good morning back to her. What did you get fired for? The company's time clock software ran off of the computer's time. So when I was late, I would just close the software, change the time back to before shift start, and then clock in and change it back. Our store was going out of business and I was too negative about the store closing. I just stopped working and began only attending meetings. Lasted almost 9 months that way before they let me go. What would you do with an extra $1,900 a month? Live the dream of being able to put my bills on autopay and not have to worry about what I really don't need this week from the grocery store. Build a safety net. I doubt I would go on a major spending spree, but would relax a lot more. I would definitely stop always volunteering to work overtime to make ends meet. Move into my own apartment without roommates. Waste it on heat, lights, food, etc. $1,900 a month is everything I need TBH. In my country, salaries are like from $350 to $600 average. Bank it. Fucking live. For one, that would be a game changer. Pay my debt, move out and get an electric bike. How did you spend your teen years? In my bedroom, making no noise and pretending I didn't exist. Drunk and waking up in random fields, not a bother on me. I now shudder at my stupidity and wonder how I wasn't abducted or murdered. Gaming and masturbating. I am not spending them, but wasting them. Skateboarding, street racing, punk rock shows. Trying not to kill myself. At school, where did you spend yours? As a chimney sweep. Being a parent to my younger brother, while mom was out with her drunk BF all the time. And dad was at the bar chasing chubbies and making more kids he'd leave behind. Locked up in my room practicing music for hours and doing homework. As a fucking cringe lord. What, due to experience, do you know not to fuck with? Aggressive drivers. Just let them go. Electricity. Ticks. Waves. Newbie body surfer misjudged a 6-foot wave and nearly drowned. A falling KitchenAid mixer. The sea in a storm. A night with no moon. And the anger of a gentle man. Garage door springs. Pay a professional to mess with that shit. The ocean or any body of water, really. The IRS. Camels. Trusting people's blinkers to mean they are turning. The HR frequent flyer. It doesn't matter if you didn't do anything wrong. They will still make your work life unbearably annoying if you dare upset them. Canada geese. What was your worst experience at a doctor's office? Was 17, had an infected ingrown toenail. My pediatrician tried cutting and digging it out with what looked like pliers and bracing his leg against the table. After fucking around for a bit, he realized he wasn't going to get it. No numbing gel or anything. Hurt like a mofo. Scheduled an appointment with a podiatrist. He numbed it. Had it removed in about 2 minutes and told me to never see that doctor again. Laid on my side with my back to the door for a prostate exam. Heard people walk by talking while a finger was in my butt and realized the door was open. Serious, what dark family secret were you let in on once you were old enough? My uncle didn't die in a car accident. He killed his mistress and then killed himself by crashing his car with her body in the trunk. My grandpa can't have kids, but my mother still has 3 siblings. My dad's first cousin is serial killer Kenneth McDuff. We saw the America's Most Wanted episode when it aired and were so surprised to hear about a McDuff, not knowing he was a relative. My uncle molested my mom. I don't understand how he is still welcome in the family. What has simultaneously got worse and more expensive? Cable television, more commercials, channels upon channels of nonsense, ridiculous monthly bill, fast food, insurances, Netflix, life, Hot Pockets. They used to be pretty good, even cooked in a microwave. Now they're made with worse quality bread, barely have half as much meat, don't cook well, and they cost about 50 more. All this in just 5-ish years. American candy bars. They're downright tiny now and cost to 3 times as much as they did 10 years ago. Also, you can tell the manufacturers are using inferior ingredients. The chocolate is dry and chalky. What infamous movie plot hole has an explanation that you're tired of explaining? How does Sarah Connor know which button to press to crush the Terminator in Terminator 1984? Because she accidentally presses it a few minutes earlier and it set the crusher off. It won't lead the Terminator to find them. One of Charles Foster Kane's servants was outside his bedroom when Kane said Rosebud. The door was wide open. The dialogue later confirms that a butler heard Kane's dying words and reported it to the paper. The first rule of Fight Club, and their growing number of members, is because it is meant to teach the members to break rules. Which film can be summed up as nothing really happens? Nothing really happens in My Neighbor Totoro, but in a good way. That's what makes it so peaceful and relaxing to watch. Studio Ghibli movies really have something special, almost magical about them that I don't really know how to describe in words. Coffee and cigarettes. Waiting for Godot. Dazed and Confused. Good movie, but nothing happens. My Dinner with Andre. The Happening. Warhol's 1960 for movie sleep, over 5 hours loop video of a guy sleeping. For me, it's definitely Lost in Translation. That film with Brad Pitt where he goes to a remote planet to find his father, finds his father and then comes back. What instantly ruins a hamburger for you? When you're chewing and the meat has a hard bit in it, like a piece of bone or something. More of a meatball than a patty. When I go to take a big ol' bite and the whole thing just ejects out the back. Abnormal height of burger. That shit is for looking, not eating. Soggy bun. Assuming everything is fresh and nothing is spoiled. A cold patty, towering height, sogginess. A surprisingly agile dog. Gristle. Those stupid TikTok cheese sauces. When the patty is overcooked and dry. Make them wider, not higher. The price for a Fu King sandwich that until recently was one of the cheapest things to eat. If one of your friends had an I know a guy moment and then called you, what would they be calling you for? Car problems, because that's exactly what I want to do in my free job. Some more. To fix a fucking computer. Add multiple groups of pop culture type friends calling me to come out with them for trivia night. Because they needed a sports guy and I was unique in that I liked watching sports and reading comics. The guy who is forklift certified. To ask me random geography questions. Document forgery. Slightly better than average Microsoft Excel. The phone number of the guy because it's sure as shite not me. How is your if we are single by 30, we're getting married friend doing? With us it was if we are still single at 65, let's just move in together, at least we like each other. We met first year at university and had been close friends ever since. She died of breast cancer at 63. Miss her every day. I'm marrying him in November, well, marrying him to another woman. I'm their efficient D. I've made that pact with so many people that I hope no one comes to make claims when I turn 30. What American city has fallen the furthest in the last 5 years? Jackson, Mississippi. The murder rate is literally unbelievable and the decay of the city and basic amenities is really tragic. Not a big city, but I drove through Meridian MS after several years and the decay was really shocking. Everything seemed shuttered and dead, except Walmart. Hearing about these makes me appreciate the progress Detroit has made in the last 5-10 years. The Motor City is getting better every day. I just wanted to say I'm from Detroit and I'm really proud of my city for how it's bouncing back recently. What is the worst response to who are you? They call me Mr. Bombastic. Skyrim character creation starts. Who? Who are any of us really? Philosophers have long pondered the nature of self. David Hume and the Buddhists both seem to think there was nothing there at all but a convincing illusion. Descartes, on the other hand, saw it as the final unbreakable proof that anything is real. I'm David Attenborough, and in today's program, we'll be exploring what it is that makes you. What do you want? I am your father, S. brother's nephew's cousin's former roommate. My name is Inigo Montoya. You killed my father. Prepare to die. My name is Jeff. I'm Ronnie Pickering. You get reincarnated as your username. What do you become? Horny ice cream. Don't even ask. Guess I am the same as in my first life, like a shitty rerun. I'm a pretty cool sea animal. A trip hazard. I suck and I'm rechargeable. Slut maker. Start talking with a fake British accent and biting swimming dinosaurs in half. A danger to society. Oh no, that one MFKR. Self-explanatory. A 5-star man. I become myself. A Siamese cat with anger issues. Dear piss. A bitter pill to swallow. Word and a number. However, if bird the word number bird X number. I become a fuck ton of birds. What's the worst financial decision you've seen someone make? Put everything in his GF's name to hide assets as he owed the IRS. The GF sold his business, cashed out his accounts, and ran. Apply for a 5K loan, didn't accept quick enough, so applied for another 5K loan. Both got accepted and ended up gambling it all. My supervisor took out a loan against their 401k to pay their rent because their credit cards were maxed. 2 weeks later, they bought a brand new 60K Lincoln with basically nothing down because her daughter just had a baby and I need a bigger car for that. What is the one thing you have when you were 17 and don't have now? The ability to disconnect and actually be out of touch. The 90s were great for that. Not memory, perhaps. Knees that actually work. Being able to get up 0 times for a pee during the night. Friends. Ignorance of my ignorance. Patience for stupid people. Hair. What is it that you invested thousands of hours and now is pointless? This is the life of a geneticist. The field moves quickly with the technology and techniques, but they are all very complex and difficult to learn. More than once in my life, I have poured myself into a specialized skill to be the best in the building, only to have that skill be obsolete the next year. It never feels that bad, though, because the replacements are almost always faster, easier, and get you better results, or else they don't really take off. I worked in high tech for 40-ish years, Almost everything I learned became obsolete. It's a treadmill. Sorting and organizing my MP3 collection. Men of Reddit, what's the biggest green flag in a woman? Straight up kindness. I met my wife 11 years ago and fell in love pretty quickly. She is the kindest person I have ever met. Doesn't matter the situation. She approaches all of them with a serenity that I have never been able to match. Every dog gets love. Every baby gets ogled at. You need some help. She is there with work boots on. Homeless. She keeps snacks and cash on hand to give out. I'm having a bad day. She will go above and beyond to make sure I know that I am loved. People who've lost a lot of weight. How did you do it? Stopped drinking and started exercising daily. I worked 2 high-intensity jobs, fast food and retail, total of about 14 hours 6 days a week, and walked about 5 miles total commute for said jobs, another hour and a half on my feet. I was also still not making enough money to eat well, so my whole body ached, and I was malnourished, but I managed to drop from 235 to 160 in just a few months. Body Bipoverty. Daily 30-minute walks. Limiting sugary soda, substituted plain carbonated water made with SodaStream. Moderation of food intake. What book did you have to read for school that you still remember? Hatchet by Gary Paulson. Brave New World by Aldous Huxley. Of Mice and Men. Animal Farm. The Scarlet Letter. Lord of the Flies. Lord of the Flies. Amazing book. To Kill a Mockingbird. Night by Elie Wiesel. The Outsiders. Great book. Where the Red Fern Grows and Invitation to the Game. A truth I'll never forget, his dogs and his ingenious raccoon traps. It was my first introduction to cyberpunk, and it was pretty solid. The Catcher in the Rye. The Giver. Where the Red Fern Grows, 5th grade, absolutely crushed me. Roll of Thunder, Hear My Cry. Do you want kids? Why or why not? No, I'll be telling them tonight when I get home. I've gone back and forth on the idea since I was younger. I'm almost 40. Can barely take care of myself financially and haven't been with anyone since my early 20s. It doesn't matter if I want them or not. It's just never going to happen. Nah, man, I don't have the patience. I'm not emotionally available enough. I'm selfish and I'm an asshole. I guess so. At 9 and 11, it's probably hard to get rid of them now. Nope, physically, mentally, and financially not ready for that, and probably ever will be. Nope, I'm happy being the rich aunt in the family. What is the worst reason to have a baby? Why? To compete with someone. To use it as a content on social media. Your parent asks wanted grandkids. To save the relationship. It never works. It just drags an innocent baby into a miserable situation. To distract yourself from a traumatic experience, robbed at gunpoint a long time back. A coworker told me this after our conversation about what happened. She said it'd distract me. Then she said I was selfish for telling her that was a horrible idea. If someone gave you $1,000 and said you must use this to buy a gift for yourself, what would you buy? A year's worth of massages. My local place does a package deal. A $1,000 Amazon gift certificate. Don't rush me. A new laptop or an iPad. Robotic cat litter box or Roborock 7. Truffles white and black. Saffron, top quality balsamic vinegar. A couple of really good knives. I've probably already run out of money. A nice guitar. Overdue car maintenance and or dental work. Maybe put it towards school job training. Boring adult shit. Why did you get fired? My manager kept losing my class schedule. Worked at a Subway. I had class 2 days a week. Several times he put me on those days anyway. I gave him multiple copies every time. Owner took me off the schedule for calling out too much. When I showed the owner proof, he said it was too late and they already hired someone else. This was 12 years ago. I'm still mad. A business I went to long ago was hiring and I got the job right after I signed all the paperwork. The department manager comes in and asks who I am. I tell him I was just hired as a temp. Manger says he never authorized any hiring and fired both me and my boss on the spot. I did not work for this company at all and they fired me. Why did you stop drinking alcohol? Saves a lot of money and feels much healthier, happier. Because of the morning after, when you feel like a hollow and anxiety-ridden puddle of a human. I was a fun drunk, not a fighter, not an angry person, not sloppy, etc. So, making the transition out of alcohol use was a hard one for my friends and family to understand. It seems people need a big, messy explosion to justify sobriety. But my explosion was an implosion. A deep self-hatred that no one felt but my hungover zombie brain. I was tired of being hungover. I was too hungover to play with my son. I'm sad when I drink. Was packing the pounds on me. What's the worst response to I have a boyfriend? Statistically, he is most likely to murder you. Oh, well, is he seeing anyone? We have a boyfriend. Slow down. We've only just met and you're already telling me your personal info. Well, I have 80 million power in Rise of Kingdoms. See. You choose Rome when you start out and use its gathering bonus to acquire resources and train troops. The Roman infantry has a movement speed buff and a defense bonus. With this combo, it's easy to steal from other players. During the mid-game, you can unlock techs and train advanced Roman legionary. With Commander Julius Caesar, you'll conquer territories quickly. Within 3 days, your power can surpass 5 million. That's okay, he can watch. What's an actual victimless crime? Sleeping in your car when you are too drunk and can't drive. Jaywalking when there are no cars on the road. Downloading very old games that are no longer available for sale. Emulating and/or pirating a game that is no longer available by any means. Putting coins in someone else's parking meter, eating food out of someone's garbage. Many things if they're simply not witnessed. In the park at night is absolutely a crime, actually 2 separate crimes. But if nobody is there to see it, no harm has been done. And there is nobody to be bothered that you trespassed after sundown. What's the worst response to I cheated on you? No, you didn't. They paid me. You cheated on me when I specifically asked you not to. Then you better call your partner 'cause I caught STD. I thought we were in an open relationship. Was I not supposed to be seeing other people? Finally, I was feeling so guilty all the time. I don't care. Was it before or after 4th of July weekend? Because we've all had a betting pool running. And if you didn't make it to the 4th, I've got a small fortune to go collect. Guess we're even. Oh, I was about to tell you something. I have choose from HIV, syphilis, gonorrhea, hepatitis, and I haven't been with anyone else but you. So that is where the HIV came from. What's one thing you've never told anyone, but will tell us? I had a neighbor who was an older lady and didn't have much extra money. She had a dog she couldn't afford to take to the vet regularly. The dog was everything to her. I would tell her I was going to take her dog to the dog park to play a couple of times a week. He was friends with my dog anyway, so it was no big deal. Once a year, one of those trips was taking the dog to the vet. I never told her or any of my neighbors because I didn't want to embarrass her. Before your cell phone kept track of birthdays, I used to remind my husband's friends and family about his birthday. So he'd get a lot of birthday greetings. It totally made him happy that everyone remembered his birthday. What's a harmless, non-serious secret you've kept forever? My mom won a prize from Syriexum at the beginning of the pandemic that never arrives, even after she followed up. That I finally found a record store with the items she won, paid for them, and arranged with them to use a generic shipping label and include an apology for the delay and congrats for winning label. She loves her prize and forgives them for delay. What is a movie that everyone has seen except you? Godfather. Schindler's List. I suspect it'll make me feel terrible. Titanic 1997. Fast and Furious. Scarface. The Matrix. Fight Club. Interstellar. Apparently. Avatar. The Godfather Trilogy. The Twilight series, books, or movie. I was a teen at its peak popularity. but it just never caught my interest. High School Musical. Pulp Fiction, just waiting for the perfect time to watch it. Requiem for a Dream. Reservoir Dogs. The Princess Bride. Yes, I know, inconceivable. Citizen Kane. Inception. Avengers, whatever the last one was. The last thing you ate is what you have to eat for the rest of your life. How screwed are you? I was gonna say I got burgers, but I recently ate some mints. My breath will never smell, which means that I'm legally not allowed to be a teacher or something. Not screwed at all. I had pizza. Last thing I ate was a chewable melatonin pill. Put me down for very screwed. Fuck edibles. Stale gummy bears. This sucks. Super spicy eggs. God help everyone around me. PPJ and big glass of milk ... I think you could actually survive on that IRL. Like it has all the nutrients and proteins the human body needs. Not sure though. I was waiting for someone to say ass lol. Why did that one kid get expelled? Thought he was funny and decided to grab the SRO student resource officer's gun. Our SRO also happened to be part of SWAT. He did this as we all left end of day, crowded hall. I remember this vividly over 20 years later. This was also post-Columbine by like a month. Kid got slammed into a wall, put in cuffs, arrested and expelled immediately. He stabbed another kid with a letter opener he made in shop class. We didn't make letter openers in shop class after that. Playing kickball in gym class, kid kicked his shoe off and his bag of weed came flying out right to the teacher's feet. What is absolutely worth paying someone else to do? Cleaning your septic tank out. Replacing the spring on the garage door. Surgery. Moving. Major electrical work. Dog nails and anal gland expression. Cutting down trees. I'm too old to go climbing up a huge oak tree with a chainsaw. Everything you hate or suck at. Cleaning service. Worth it each month. Massages. Anything that involves crawling under the house. What is the biggest mistake you did not make as a teenager? Didn't get a girl pregnant. Pretty easy to do at an all-boys school. Sending nudes. Found out the boys in our school had a shared email. They all had the password to where they passed. Around all of the nudes they got. Found out 2 of the guys I talked to who asked me for them were a part of that group. So glad I never took nudes or sent them. I'm the first woman in my family to beat teen pregnancy. Heroin. I never dated anyone from my school, only girls from Canada. You wouldn't know them, of course. I was asked out. I said no. He raped and murdered 2 teenage girls that same weekend. Add or subtract from population. Getting angry and chasing a crowd of people with a wheelbarrow. What is the stupidest thing people brag about? Kid in my class bragged about how he stole an air freshener from the school bathroom. He was holding an unwrapped, wet urinal cake in his hand. Getting away with a crime. There was a mass murder in the Chicago suburbs that went unsolved for 9 years, until one of the 2 perps told a new girlfriend about it and turned them in HTTPSN. 27's Chicken Massacre. 1. How little sleep they got. Point 2. How late they stayed at work. Point 3. How much they drank. Point 4. How many people they fucked. Internet fame. Hours of work. We shouldn't be glorifying getting overworked. What's an evil company not enough people talk about? Brookdale, the Senior Care Assisted Living MEGACORP ... Senior care in the US is fucking terrifying. And they're at the center of it. Abuse, neglect, grifting survivors into estate locking deals. Brookdale is evil. And most of us will have to deal with them or someone like them as we're entering our most vulnerable adult years. Pearson VUE, did none of you go to college and shell out way too much money? Or take a standardized test? Noah Pharma, formerly known as Purdue Pharma. They are the main character of the opioid crisis. What is the dumbest thing you've ever heard someone say? Well, she never got pregnant before after his GF got pregnant, and after asking my friend why didn't he use protection. Someone in our group lost a flip-flop in a river. We watched it float downstream. Another person in our group said to be patient because it'll eventually do a full loop and come. back. That there's no difference between turkey and ham because they both come from birds. I guess pigs really do fly in their world. My chiropractor can cure autism with his bare hands and some essential oils. Too bad her chiropractor couldn't cure stupid. What's the worst physical pain you ever felt? Ovarian torsion from a giant cyst, worse than a broken neck and childbirth. Abscessed tooth. But wait, let me finish. Abscessed tooth after the dentist removed the wrong tooth. The one next to the abscessed tooth on the way home when the local wore off. Doubt, I thought lovingly about removing my foot with a hacksaw. Pilonidal cyst right on your tailbone from snowboarding and then having to sit on a 4-hour flight. Doesn't sound like much, but if you've had one, sitting upright was hell. Opened up a pressure cooker. While it was still on the stove back in the 90s, 40 of skin surface burned and my heart is now. Shit on a stick. What was your worstest HD? I forgot moment. I was playing Forza, the racing game. The bots in single-player races use the names cars of your friends in your friend list. Saw my buddy's name next to me on the starting line. Hadn't talked to him for a while. So I gave him a call. Number was disconnected. And I realized I forgot he died the year prior. Drove 2 hours to the airport just to realize I forgot my ID on the kitchen table. Thankfully, it was a domestic flight. They felt bad for me and let me on anyway. Left my phone on the bus on the last day of school. What happened to the bully in your class? He died the summer after graduating high school. Mixed too many drugs and alcohol at a party. Very sad for his younger brother, who was a great person despite his brother. He was killed shortly after being released from prison. He apparently had a beef with someone and went to their house with a gun, kicked in their front door, and was immediately shot and killed. He now owns his father's huge, massively lucrative construction co., which is exactly what he said he was going to do and also let us know how much richer he was going to be than us. So yeah, it sucks BC it came true.